Or say something like, you know what, he has to miss the first half of the next 5 matches. Something crazy. We're like, what?
So we'll talk about our Germany trip in our second segment, but today we have to start domestically because there was a lot of news this week.
Inter Miami. Okay, they lost the final and they absolutely crashed out. You got Luis Suárez spitting on people. You got Busquets dapping people up in the face. You got Messi threatening people. Is Inter Miami the new villains? We got to talk about that, and that's why it is today's top topic. Okay, which is presented by Buchanan's Blended Scotch Whiskey, an official FIFA World Cup 26 supporter. Nos vamos al Mundial. Hey, with a Bucanita in hand.
Let's go.
This is the top topic.
I mean, so obviously they lost 3-0, which I think was a shock to a lot of people. Probably not the Seattle Sounders, not Ciara as well, right?
So, our newest fan. So let's talk about this because Inter Miami losing a final is a big deal, right? They spent a lot of money. There's some really big names on it. But the way they acted in this losing, being the sore loser, we got to talk. We'll break down. We're going to, at the end of the segment, we'll talk a little bit about whether they're the villains or not. So wait with us for a moment. But first, let's talk about exactly what happened because immediately I started seeing videos of Luis Suárez spitting on what looked like an assistant coach from the Seattle Sounders.
I mean, and who is, I don't know exactly how old he is, but he looked like in his 60s. I've heard some people have said he's
right because you spit at anyone 80 and over.
I'm just saying.
Leave already. We need apartments.
Could this man be? we're trying to recycle these.
You're
spots.
the reason there's no homes, abuelo.
No. How he couldn't look any less menacing. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't aggro. He wasn't in Luis Suarez's face. Luis Suarez was also fighting with Obed Vargas. Everybody, he just seemed to be upset. And I know during a match, especially a loss, there's a lot of banter, and we'll talk about Messi in a second.
Also, players, and this is not an excuse for his actions because I don't believe it was okay. Players put themselves on that razor's edge. They push themselves as far as they can go to inspire themselves to try to get a win, to be as competitive as possible. So I could understand being on like the edge of your emotions, but the what makes you a pro is that it doesn't boil over.
Sure.
That's what makes you really good at what you do. That's what makes you the best in the world at one point.
And Suarez has never been known for that. So
no, but also it's been excused every time he's bitten people. He's taken slaps on the wrist.
No, he's dealt with some very severe penalties for.
Has he ever been banned for a season?
Not at 4 months. He got banned after the bite when he was playing with Uruguay. He got banned for 4 months. He got banned for something like 9. I think it was 9 matches. International matches and 4 months in domestic.
Do you think in those 4 months he was like, I think the problem is that I'm chomping out. What if I just projectile from my mouth?
He's like, I got to try a new special move.
I'm putting their body part in my mouth. What if my mouth ends up on their body part?
It's very important which body part that is during a match.
Hey, some of those you're not going to get banned for. You might get high-fived for.
Maybe this is me being naive. I honestly thought Luis Suarez was going to get through his MLS career without an incident like this.
Nah, that's you being naive.
This and 100%. And I would argue that this is it's not going to get the same penalty or a worse penalty. This is worse than biting.
We'll talk about penalties because I think you and I should say what the penalty should be. But we'll talk about that. But spitting is wildly disrespectful. This is like throwing money in someone's face. Like it's a sign of, I mean,
it's worse than that. But
no, I mean, it's like it's equivalent. In my mind, it's the you're nothing to me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Biting someone means like I'm aggressive towards you.
Right. I want to hurt you.
I want to hurt you. Yeah. Spitting at someone is like, you're not even worth my time. Like you're worthless to me. And that I think is what's upsetting so many people is that we've kind of known that some of these DPs come into this league and think like, I'm so much better than this.
Yeah.
But whatever, I'm being paid. And actually, this is kind of genius what I think MLS did or what Inter Miami has done. And this is why I think they are the villains, right? Is you know how like we heard stories after the fact of like David Beckham and like the players maybe not getting along with him, not every player getting along with him, and like when Pirlo was at a New York City FC, there was a sense that they don't really care a lot. They're above a lot of this. You can't really hear too much about it because what the league has done is sprinkled these stars amongst the other teams. You know what I mean? So there's like the players, the teammates are going to talk about their own player. But this version of it is all of the big names are on their own team.
Right.
So now everyone's like, nah, this is trash. You know what I mean? Like, they're the villains. Now you can just point to them and go, bro, they don't. So instead of like players disrespecting their teammates in training, which we don't get to see, we're now watching it play out in real time. We're now seeing the worst case scenario, which is like these big names come into this country, into this league, and think I'm above this. And agree with it if you want, by the way. If you think they are above it, sure. That's why they're getting paid that much money, is because we're asking you to play in this league. Now we're getting to see it play out in real time of like, now they're not my teammate. I could tell you they're trash. Like, you know, we clips from other podcasts which we're about to play and all this. You see people now coming out and just talking about it in real time because it's a different team. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not your teammate. We're not, these stories aren't being hidden.
No. I understand that. Yeah. I mean, I would also, I wouldn't necessarily agree with the fact that things are being hidden per se. I think just
all the stories of Beckham and all the disrespect that some of these players felt and all that wasn't. We had to get these players to have to retire before they'll talk about it on our podcast.
Right. I mean, it's just there's just more platforms because even I would probably say, and this is another conversation, but those statements and concerns were probably somewhat heard within our industry, right? Like we speak to these players.
Yeah, but now it's in public.
Exactly. So, but I like that. You know, again, the complaint a lot of times about Major League Soccer is retirement league, and these players are old, and you would think that some players would not care, but I don't get the sense that Luis Suárez does not care.
So you're saying this is a good thing?
I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that for the narrative of like, oh, it's not important. That's clearly, anybody who says that is clearly wrong. Look how psychotic this person is over something. Does he look like he's retiring? Does he look like he's not trying to make a statement or try to win games? He clearly took it too far, but the fact that there's this much animosity, and again, spitting is too far, but the banter that we're going to talk about Messi in a second, that banter, all that stuff shows that there is a bitterness, there's a anger, there's real rivalry in these games.
Busquets never punched anyone during the Champions League.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I
didn't even think Busquets had it in him to punch someone.
It was it was just a silly. Obed Vargas is what, 19?
He's from Alaska. Right. You think growing up in Alaska, he was like, I think I'm going to get Busquets to punch me in the face.
He's obviously of Mexican descent. And after the game, he was interviewed by TUDN, and he is wearing the Mexican flag. And he was getting a lot of heat in the comments because he said that we did it. I was doing it for Mexico because of the World Cup and all this stuff. And people they're a little bit like, bro, this is like a club. It's a club game. Like, this has nothing to do with Mexico.
Be inspired by whatever you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a kid, and he was like, I have incredible respect for all these players, but I'm here to win. And Obed Vargas was fantastic in the game. They
absolutely incredible.
They did they man marked Messi, but they man marked him after passes, and this was always the issue. This is why I think we had, when we were talking with Dax at the MLS in the preseason, when he talked about the goal in that Leagues Cup,
that he got it back.
That it's the issue with Greg Vanny also said this as well when we were during the MLS media day, that the issue is when Messi passes the ball, that's where all the magic happens. So Obed Vargas, as soon Messi would make passes and boom, shoulder him right after. Like, so Messi couldn't make get that initial burst of pace to create confusion or find the space. So Schmetzer, Obed Vargas, I mean, they played a perfect game.
Yeah.
And they handled it incredibly well, and that's why, you know, they win Leagues Cup. You know, Inter Miami also goes to CONCACAF Champions Cup as well. So it's not like all is lost, but now all they really have to focus on is MLS Cup. But all right, the other thing, we mentioned Busquets. Don't know why he's punching it. So when we talk about punishments, so this is the interesting wrinkle. This is a Leagues Cup. Leagues Cup is its own competition. It is not MLS. It is not CONCACAF. So they come up with their own rules. This is why when Mascherano got sent off in one of the earlier games, and he's on his cell phone communicating with the assistant coach, but he's sitting behind the bench. He's literally on the first row,
Yeah.
like VIP seats.
Wenger did this once. Where he was like, I'm suspended. Took 2 steps back. They're like, all right, I guess.
You can't see me.
How about now? Huh? Can you see me now?
It's like it's one of those like, I'm not touching you.
Yeah.
I'm not touching you.
My finger, I'm not touching you. Like those kids are like, get your finger out of his
So
face.
Leagues Cup, this is like allowed.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily go to the locker room. You can kind of just be around. So because Suarez and there's going to be a litany of red cards. And that's the thing. It's been several days, and we still don't know what the consequences are going to be. But because of that, the punishments are seemingly only going to apply to Leagues Cup 2026.
Dude, if you spit on me, do you understand how upset I would be? Almost as upset as I get when I find out that you watch this video and don't hit the like button. You can do it right now. It tells YouTube to share this with so many other people that are just like you. Don't you want that for us? Would you spit in my face? Now, let me ask you a question. Has a player in MLS ever gotten in trouble, suspended, or anything like that for stuff that's happened off the pitch?
Of course, yeah.
If Luis Suárez spit at someone at a bar, they would be arrested and they would get in trouble in MLS.
Yeah, yeah.
So why is it allowed just because it's in a different competition?
So, and there is precedent for this because we all remember Clint Dempsey ripping up the yellow, the notebook of the referee.
Ref.
This happened in U.S. Open Cup.
Canon, by the way. Shouts to Clint Dempsey.
Just an important part of American soccer history.
Yeah, you don't know where.
You don't know where I'm from, dog.
So
I didn't think we'd ever use that.
So, but that happened in U.S. Open Cup, and he was suspended in MLS after that happened. So, there has to be, some people are basically saying he should be suspended for the entire year. I can give my perspective. I don't think that is given his history. We can do one of these like 3 strikes kind of a thing with Suarez. He has a history.
So strike 19, Luis Suarez. One more, and you get a free sandwich.
So I think he, if they came back and said he's going to be suspended for the rest of the season and postseason, I would be a person that would be like, okay, I understand that. I think spitting in someone's face, an old man's face, for seemingly no reason.
A hobby of yours?
Is yours. You gotta wait till they're 90.
Yeah.
I think that is a valid punishment, but let's be in the real world and be realistic. MLS is not going to do that. They understand the financial implication of suspending a player like that and hurting Inter Miami in that way. If I had to find the compromise, I would at the very least say he's suspended 6 games or something like that, which is probably, I think, the rest of the regular season, and then he comes back in the postseason. And I think that sets some sort of example. You can't behave this way regardless of what competition you are in. But we're still also waiting for what the actual punishment is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be.
Okay, let me tell you what I think the punishment should be.
What is it?
Now, I don't know enough about wrestling. So Andrew, who is Carter, is still on his honeymoon. I believe he's on a hot air balloon in Dubai right now. I hope you enjoy it. He's really what a magical tour he's on. Andrew knows a little bit more about wrestling than I do, but I remember there was a wrestler who started out as a good guy and everyone hated him. And there was The Rock, right?
Rocky Maivia. Yep. The
Okay.
Rock.
Rocky Maivia.
So-
Maivia? Maivia.
Maivia.
Yeah.
So yeah, like apparently he's like his dad was a famous wrestler before that.
Mhm.
So everyone hated this kid because he sucked and thought it was nepotism. And then like the WWE was like, we don't know what to do. You're supposed to be like the happy-go-lucky guy. And then they were like, whatever. If everyone hates you, you're the bad guy now.
Yeah.
And then play into that. And we all know who The Rock is.
Sure.
Okay? This is what MLS should be doing that they're always afraid to do. When a player stands out and has a personality and starts TikToking and doing this other stuff, hey, whoa, you're supposed to be a footballer. You're not supposed to be doing this other stuff, right? We talk about Bobby Boswell. They made him shut down his YouTube channel. When he would have been a superstar, he would have drawn more eyes to the league. But no. We want to be taken serious. We're football. We're soccer players. We can't do that. This is a moment where they should absolutely lean into it, but not just do it. They should do it in a way where it adds more fuel to the fire. If people are booing you, do whatever you did again that made them boo. You know what I mean?
Not the spitting.
No, not the spitting. No, I'm talking about for the league. Like if people are afraid that you're not going to ban this guy, do it, but do it in a big way. Don't ban this guy. So you know what? His punishment is he has to miss the next league's cup match, and everyone's gonna be like, "This is ridiculous." But this
that will work.
More articles, more videos, more TikToks, more reels, more shorts, more everything of people complaining. And that's more people talking. Or say something like, you know what? He has to miss the first half of the next 5 matches. Something crazy. We're like, what? Like, just lean into it.
You're not allowed to drink water for the next 3 matches.
Absolutely. You're only allowed to spit on 80-plus-year-olds. Again, the Christian Polanco move. I'm being honest, like, lean into this. Find a way to use this to market your league even more.
Okay.
Find this as a way to promote this league even more, because what we've already seen, people aren't watching. Like the cat's out the bag now. You know what I mean? People aren't watching. Use this. If we're going to have this team of superstars as opposed to being like, come watch your favorite. Oh, remember Lionel Messi? Oh, that goal he scored in Champions League, or when he won the World Cup. Oh, remember Luis Suárez, how good he was at Ajax? Nobody cares about that anymore. We have the highlights on YouTube. Why you want to come see this team is because everyone is booing them. Yeah. Because remember what New York did when they came to New York City? Middle fingers at the bus, banging on the bus, throwing stuff at the bus. That could be the whole league if you play this right. If you can have a traveling circus of villains. So give this guy 0 ban. You know what you do?
This is what
you know what you do? You punish the old guy. Punish the old guy for getting in Luis Suarez's face.
Right.
Play this up.
We're like 3 blocks from the MLS office, and
I hope they can hear me.
This is what people think. Like the MLS office is like this. These are the marketing meetings.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just the most sinister, evil.
We should all be putting our hands on an orb. You know? Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I do understand.
Can you see the benefit to marketing the league this way?
I do, but it is incredibly it's sinister. It is it is, sort
you
of.
think TAM is above board?
It lacks a little moral clarity.
Does it?
It does. You'll say, of course.
The whole thing is a single entity.
you would
We're literally
think-
watching branches of an organization play each other.
Well,
Marketing versus shipping. That's New York City FC versus Inter Miami.
sure. I mean, look.
At one point, multiple teams were owned by the same people.
that is
and
true.
you want moral clarity? Left hand playing right hand? I know I wrote and lifted the wrong hand.
I understand what you're saying. He still spit on the guy, but I understand.
Sure, but what I'm saying is fine him if you want.
Right.
Asking him to not play games is stupid.
And look, in this scenario,
Fine him $1. And fine the old guy $20.
Yeah, dude.
Be the villains, man.
I mean, you're saying you want Inter Miami to be the villains, and you want MLS to be the
They
villains.
already are,
as well.
dude.
Okay.
They already are. People don't. When Don Garber walks out onto the pitch, has anyone ever clapped besides his employees? And again, we've talked to the guy. We like the guy. This isn't a personal thing. They're gonna boo you. You're the commissioner.
I prefer to salute the grand leader of Major League Soccer.
Hit him with the forefit, the tops of your fingers against your forehead. Bang your heels together. Our gracious leader.
Yeah, dude. Okay, well, look, valid point. Everybody in the comments, let us know what
would you do?
Yeah.
Oh, ban him for 5 matches because that's what he deserves. And then the needle's not moved.
Okay, Alexis, just the profit motive is literally the only thing that drives him.
You want this league to survive? There's 7 people watching on Apple TV. You want this league to survive?
Anyway, Messi. The other news in regards to this this drama and this fight, which is a really interesting one because you don't really necessarily see this coming from Lionel Messi, but allegedly and reportedly, and this was reported by Major League Journeyman. Shout out to Gordo.
Reported.
Alan Gordon.
It's a podcast. We're reporting.
Yo, he got
got the scoop.
He got the scoop, but
Damn, Fabrizio Gordon, yo.
but But he goes and he says that so Pedro de la Vega got into a little bit of scuffle with
Player
Messi.
for Seattle.
Yeah, and he goes.
DP, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yep. And he goes on to say that Messi.
He's an Argentinian who played for Huracan, if I'm not mistaken. We
Okay.
could look that up, but yeah.
And that allegedly Lionel Messi told him that you will never play on the Argentinian national team as long as I'm around.
Messi told him, do you remember when they got into a little scuff during the game? Messi told him to his face, he said, you'll never play for the national team as long as I am involved. He basically blackballed him on the field. And so, and this happened. This happened. And so that is disgusting to me. It is disgusting. And they're acting in a way that is disgusting all around. And they're, like Dax said, again, they are the villains, and it's just it's gross to watch. And now I want them to lose every single time I watch them.
This is and Alan
He
Gordon.
hit him with the "You'll never work in this town again."
You'll never work him with the Harvey Weinstein.
Damn, the old. Listen up, Buckaroo. This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
This is. And even you can see in Alan Gordon's
Meet me in front of the OK Corral at noon.
You can see in Alan Gordon's response. I mean, he uses the word disgusting, and I think it's interesting even seeing people's response to this, because I think Argentinian people are like, Messi is God. He could say whatever he wants to whoever he wants.
First of all, I mean, kind of, yeah, right? Like, if you found out Pele said this to some dude you'd never heard of from the Brazilian national team, you'd immediately be on Pele's side, by the way. But because we know who De La Vega is.
Yeah. Look, it is. I understand banter. And
no, actually, before you say it, when did he say it? And I think that's more important.
During the game.
But how? Was he saying like, hey, you better let a couple balls slip past you, or else you'll never play for the national?
No, I don't. That's
you
not
think Messi was trying to match fix?
Okay, all right. Here we go.
Because, well, first of all, I'm not the one who said it. He said it. It's reported that he said it. Reported by a podcast with 3 boxes.
This is a bold accusation.
A lone salesman has just told us that Messi
you must
said
not care about your DMs.
Yeah, but I'm just asking the question: when did he say it? Was it after the match? Was it like after an aggressive tackle? Or we don't know. We have to ask the question: when was it? Yo, you playing a little too hard, bro.
Okay, I mean, look, we're just asking the questions. I guess
you want Scolari to call you or block your number?
My assumption is
assumption. I'm also assuming.
Yes, it was a I don't even necessarily think. I think it was banter. There's no way I'm going to assume that Lionel Messi, because of anything that happens on in a football match, he's going to specifically tell a player, "Yo,"
unless he's being abused.
Unless he's being abused, which who is going to abuse Messi and not get 10 other or 20 other hands directly right in your face if he's the most protected player on any team he plays on. So right. I can't assume that Pedro de la Vega, who is Argentinian, who every Argentinian respects Messi, that nobody's out here to insult him or degrade him. They respect him by playing. They respect him by playing him hard, right?
Yeah, but when the whistle blows,
the whistle blows what?
You know, he's not your legend. He's not. He's a competitor. You're competing against him. He's not.
When the whistle blows, meaning like the game starts.
The legend leaves.
Exactly, and that's how it should be. So it maybe hard tackle, maybe banter back and forth. Messi saying this is obviously beneath him. If there's any seriousness to him actually doing this, it is pretty gross. It is pretty like petty, and right. You don't need to. If you are a god, you do not need to meddle in things like this.
Sure,
this is very silly.
Again, this was my complaint when a certain pizza person was upset that another pizza shop was opening a 20-minute walk. Okay, it's not really the same. Right. I said, you're right now the best pizza in New York. Lions don't really care about the movement of sheep. Ferrari's not worried about what Volvo's putting out. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't worry about this, but I do want full disclosure to say, if I was Messi, I would say this, 100%.
But jokingly or seriously?
No, seriously. I'd be like, don't you dare disrespect me. You'll never be on the Cooligans podcast again. You know what I mean? I'm 100%.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just being honest with the audience.
I mean, this isn't. This is something, especially the fact that it's also a little strange that it gets out, right? I don't know where Alan Gordon heard it from, but he was obviously okay to report it.
I think I saw like an infographic of it.
Right. It was. But but no, the first person who reported it was Alan Gordon on Major League
You want to
Journeyman.
hear some crazy? The top box on that video.
Yeah.
Is Dax McCarty,
yeah.
who works for MLS. So
Yeah,
they're gonna
yeah.
have some questions when he gets in. They're like, hey, whoa.
No, I look. Credit to MLS. I mean, they didn't like whitewash.
No,
the
lean
whole
in,
They were
baby.
just like, yo, this is horrific. They
They
shouldn't
should
do
be
that.
like, you know what else he did? You know what I mean? Like, get in there.
Yeah. So, it's usually stuff that happens on the pitch. Usually, we never ever hear about it. We never know what comes. There's a million things that are said amongst these 22 players. We never ever hear it, and for it to get out, my assumption is that De La Vega was just like, yo, this actually hurt my feelings. That's
Or
why it's out.
It's unbecoming of someone of Messi's stature.
Right. So,
Which again, full disclosure, it's not unbecoming of my stature. This is exactly what I would do.
like I said, I mean, the main thing is it's beneath Messi. I'm not saying he's still gonna be beloved. He's like still a god to so many people.
But there was a turn in the last few years. It started with the Que Mira Bobo.
Yeah.
It started with that. So there's a bit of a shift in Messi now.
Sure. Yeah.
Messi's going to join the manosphere. You think?
With Chicharito.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sadness, by the way.
So, just insane. Just a wild turn of events. And given that we still do not know what the punishments are, it's really frustrating that it's taking this long. We might have to walk down to the MLS office and
I
get
got
an answer.
ideas. I got ideas.
Okay, fine. We gotta find the guy who got spit on, which also he was even laughing about it as well. We could take a look at it now, but he's walking by, he's joking, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're lucky you didn't get bitten."
By the way, this is the Latino culture that I absolutely love.
Yeah,
which is to take trauma or something bad that happened and pile onto it with jokes.
exactly,
and it makes you immediately feel better.
Yeah, he was like laughing. Look, most people who have been spit on would probably be very, very angry.
Right.
But
if this happened in Brooklyn, be like,
but it's like, bro, he just won Leagues Cup. Like almost anything, almost responding to it is like, you look. It's like giving you the satisfaction that you made me mad. And he's just like, nah, I'm like, at least I didn't get bit. I was like, I was worried I was going to get bit.
Right. Like, remember when you and I were at a stadium that I will not name, where one of our favorite journalists that we're friends with spoke to the coach of the losing team, and the coach told him, you're a real jerk off or something like that. And we were on the sideline, and that journalist walked over to us. He goes, hey,
Yes.
coach just called me.
Yeah, and I remember.
And we were like, yo, that's awesome. This is great, bro. I've been meaning to say it about you for years. Like we joked, immediately we spun into jokes.
Sure.
And immediately, like, sort of calm the whole situation down.
Okay, that's what we're here for.
Of course.
All right, so Gino Ramirez is the guy who got spit on, unfortunately. But look, he seems like he's taking it in stride. And now Seattle Sounders are Leagues Cup champions, and now the conversation about Brian Schmetzer being one of the greatest managers in MLS, and even since we've been, he got the gig. I think our first year,
yeah.
And it's kind of been remarkable. The Seattle Sounders have officially won every single trophy that is available for them to win in North America. So, I mean,
that's crazy.
Schmetz.
By the way, remember an assistant.
Right.
He was an assistant and just got the job as an
Siggy.
interim, and look at how great he's been.
Yeah. So, I mean, a legendary coach and creating.
What was the name of the gentleman who got spit on?
Gene Ramirez.
Gene Ramirez. Here comes your 10-match ban, Gene.
Okay. Get Gene on the show. We got to talk to Gene. Does he do interviews? We'll see how it goes. Anyway, all right. Let's take a quick break. We got to talk some USMNT, and we'll talk about our trip to Germany. So we'll be right back after this. All right, we're back. USMNT is back in the news. We got 2 friendlies coming up. So we got to let's just take a quick look at the roster. Because
everyone's happy about it.
Pochettino said, "Yo, I got an Apple TV subscription. I'm locked in.
Pochettino was like, I think I'm into some of these MLS guys, bro."
He's like, "I ain't watching Serie A. You watch that?
Nah.
I don't watch that." But
AC Milan, never heard of him.
But names left off, like Weston McKennie, I think is a big one.
Yeah.
But not seeing a name like that, Pochettino was asked. He basically said that he's trying to see new guys, new faces, or whatever.
I kind of agree, and I know that's upsetting a lot of people.
This seems wildly close. There's only one or two more windows before the World Cup.
What are you going to see? What are you going to learn about Weston McKennie? He has to go through the available people to him. At this point, he's trying to fill the roster. I think he knows who his 11 are. And I think we all could kind of guess most of those 11.
Right.
I think Mauricio Pochettino is seeing who can I fill the roster with? Who do I trust coming off the bench? Who's good in training? Who's good to compete with these guys? And that's what these next few friendlies are.
I mean, given that the World Cup is so close and we know a lot of the names here are just not going to be there.
You don't know that.
I feel pretty good about knowing.
What are you, Mauricio Pochettino?
It makes me a little a bit nervous, but we do have some exciting news because next week on the podcast, we're going to be doing a live show. We're not going to be doing the show on Monday. Instead, we're going to do a live show on Tuesday, right after the USMNT match against Japan. So that will probably, the game kicks off, I believe, at 7 or 7:30, and we'll be on
Final whistle.
live right after that.
Final whistle goes straight to our YouTube.
Exactly. So
We're going to be live.
YouTube.com/soccercooligans. The whole Yahoo staff is going to be here. We're going to be doing a live production as we've had a great time doing the other post-match reacts right
There's
after
like
the game.
70 people behind the cameras for these things.
Yes, that's right. 70 people fit in here, I
Totally.
promise.
By the way, just standing room.
So, it'll be a live audience. It'll be great. But join us in the chat and comment along. It'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully, maybe it'll be a positive result for the USMNT, and we'll see how that goes. We'll talk all about it. So, like I said earlier, we did go to Germany, and we wanted to see how good some of these USMNT stars were. So we went to Germany to see a couple play in person in the Bundesliga. We had a great time. And first off, one of the stops that we went on was to Bremen. Everybody visits Bremen when they go to Germany. But we got to see one of those players was Malik Tillman play for the first time for his new club in Bundesliga.
At Bayer Leverkusen, which is huge, right? He ends the season last year essentially becoming the starter at the number 10 spot at PSV Eindhoven.
Yeah.
Really showing his value, showing how good he is, showing how much he's developed, right? Sometimes you just need that opportunity. It reminded me a little bit of Jacob Kivior, the player for Arsenal. When he first came in, he was scared to pass. Nobody wanted to pass him the ball because he didn't know what to do with the ball at his feet. He's a center back. He's like, no, I'm not supposed to be doing this. That's your job. Now he comes in because Gabriel Magalhaes gets injured, and he looks absolutely incredible. Enough that he gets a massive transfer, right? So this is the same thing that I feel like happened with Malik Tillman. He was at first come in, didn't exactly know where his spot was. I think this happened when Ricardo Pepi didn't really have a set position. There were times where Serginho Dest was more of a 10 coming in from the fullback spot. Then Malik Tillman never got an opportunity to be. And then little by little, he earns the trust, gets a starting, gets a big move to Bayer Leverkusen playing Bremen. So we go see him.
Yeah, we're in Bremen, and the game. Everybody, beforehand, we're all sort of giving our predictions. We went on the Bundesliga media trip, so a lot of journalists and stuff, and everybody's trying to guess like what the score would be. I thought it was going to be 3-0. Yeah. We got the 2-1s, 1-1s, or whatever. But at one point in the game, it was 2-0. Then it ended up being 3-1. Malik Tillman scores in the game. How great is this? We're talking to the Bundesliga staff. We're like, yo, let's set up that interview after the game.
And they're like, he's going to be in such a good mood. Not only are they winning easily, but he scored. This is going to be easy. He comes off in the 60th minute, right? And they're like, oh, remember, he was injured.
Yeah.
So this was his first start. So everyone's like, relax. Did an hour out there. Take it easy. Sit on the bench. And apparently, when you start playing Jenga, you don't pull from the bottom right away. You know what I mean? And that's what Erik ten Hag did.
Exactly. So,
and we'll talk about how that affected his career.
We'll talk Erik ten Hag a little bit, but we watched the game. Tillman was great. I thought he was still figuring out his teammates, a little bit of sharpness. He's still getting that, but scores a goal. Looked pretty confident during the game, and a good fit already in Bundesliga. But like we said, he leaves the game. And then also Bayer Leverkusen are up a man. Bremen ended up getting the center back gets 2 yellow cards, gets sent off.
By the way, we're in Bremen. We're at Werder Bremen, and the crowd is not having a good time. They're down a player, down 2 goals. this is going to be an absolute trouncing by Bayer Leverkusen, except
Bremen were like, and they end up scoring, 3 goals and tying the game.
Yeah.
It was completely unexpected, but there was a moment.
the vibes were crazy.
Yeah, there
though.
was a moment in the match where I think it was when they scored when Bremen scored their second goal, that I forgot that they were down a man. Like the last like 25 minutes of that game were like, why can't Leverkusen control this game at all? They're just like dealing with all this pressure, and they're up a player.
Well, also they were Bremen, I think, just made their process, their tactics a lot simpler going down a man. They were like, all right, they basically played like a 5-2-1, right? And then they were like, or a 5-2-2 or 5-3-1. And they were like, all right, just send it to the channels and we'll all transition. And it worked.
Yeah.
It kind of put so much pressure on Leverkusen that they weren't sure who to mark. They weren't sure who was their person. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, there's getting opportunities in front of goal. And there was a moment where there was so much momentum for Bremen, I was sure an equalizing goal was going to come.
Sure. Yeah.
I was positive of it.
Those last few moments were electric.
And we were having a party. I forgot an American was on the other team. I'm like, let's go. I might get a Bremen kid after this. I was feeling the vibes. And then
Malik, have you considered joining Werder Bremen?
Yo,
bro?
Malik just switched the
Well,
kit.
no, but even Werder Bremen has they had a lot of love for American players. Obviously,
Yeah.
Josh Sargent spent a good amount of time there.
Uh-huh.
So
Mesut Ozil started his career. Well, not started, but that was
okay,
also played
one
there.
of the stops. Okay, yeah,
Not that he's an American. I'm just saying one of my favorite. I actually have his kit, his Werder Bremen kit.
interesting.
It does not fit, which is why I didn't wear. When they say double XL, they don't really mean it. You know how Europe is.
So,
But here's the thing that's crazy, right? So we didn't get a chance to do the one-on-one interview with him, which we weren't promised, but it was looking likely.
mhm.
They were like, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you guys a separate room for the people on the trip, right? Like you said, it was me, you, Ryan Hunt of Stadio Podcast,
Yeah.
and a bunch of serious journalists, right? So 3 knuckleheads, serious journalists. By the way, shouts to Ryan Hunt, man.
Ryan
Just
Hunt,
one of the
yeah.
greatest
We
people
had a great time.
I've ever met. So we're all standing there, and someone goes, hey, why don't you two like jump next to him and interview him like you would on the podcast? Everyone else is going to ask questions like it's a scrum. Once that's kind of chills down, you two jump in there.
Right.
And immediately when he walks in, I'm like, let me make eye contact with him because, again, I went to Eindhoven and
Yeah,
and
yeah. So
interviewed him.
you met Malik before, yeah.
So I was like, hey, big smile on his face. Hey, what's up, man? How you been? Oh, I'm good. He's like, oh, what you doing here? I'm like, yo, we're going to interview. He's like, all right. And immediately, as soon as he starts making eye contact with me, it was like you shut off like a mechanical bear or something. He's like, you know what I mean? Just, you ever see like Chuck E. Cheese at night?
Right. Those
The
animatronic.
animatronic? He went so somber, eyes down, didn't want to make eye contact with him. He's normally a kind of a smooth dude. Like he's not really like
Sure.
in your face, happy, smiling. So there's already, but this was like the sadness was dialed up to a level I'd never seen.
So we did it.
He was contrite.
We were part of this interview and this scrum. So let's play a couple moments from it. Here we go.
What was the mood like in the changing room at full time? What did the head coach say?
That we played like boys today and not men. It's just. He also said it's embarrassing how we finished the game. So the mood wasn't great.
Malik, I know this result is a little somber, but seeing you score a goal, and I think for a lot of U.S. men's national team fans, it is very exciting, and the World Cup coming up. How does that goal help you going forward, and then hopefully making that World Cup roster?
Yeah, for me, it's about being confident, and this will boost my confidence, obviously. But yeah, the World Cup is a bit less than a year away, so it's a lot of time. We have to stay sharp. We have to stay focused. Well, I have to stay sharp, stay focused, and yeah, just be consistent all over the season. And then, I mean, it's not in my hands to decide who's going to the World Cup, but obviously I want to be there. So I just try to give it my best, and then hopefully the coach picks me.
How'd you feel getting the start? How'd you feel at the end of the 60?
I feel great, to be honest. But yeah, playing a game is different to training. It's a lot harder, but if you're not playing, you can't gain match fitness. So it's been great for me to play 60 minutes. I feel good. And yeah, maybe next game is a bit more.
And as you can see,
he ain't having a great time.
He's not having a great time. It's for the Cooligans to do what we do.
Yeah.
You can't be that sad.
Right. Like if you and I were going to interview a child, and right before we interviewed him, an old man came by and stole that child's candy.
Right.
The interview's not going to go well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be. They'll obviously be crying. They'll be asking about the candy. They're not going to be focused on the 4-4-3 he just played.
So he's looking very contrite, and there was like a team official close by. So you also can't be like, "Hey, Cooligans, my guys, how you been?" You can't.
But I mean, this was one of the
kind of almost gave me one of the, "Hey, don't try that funny shit."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This was one of those games where you know how sometimes you hear and you're watching a game where a draw feels like a loss.
Well, we saw it in person.
But we saw it in person where he's literally has the sadness of a loss.
Both teams walked away with 1 point. Werder Bremen acted like they won the World Cup, and they're acting like their child was the one whose candy got stolen. Leverkusen's not having a good time.
Bremen wanted to kiss the World Cup trophy. I've never, and I mean, this is kind of a strange thing for us. We've never really been. We're not a post-game interview type of show.
No,
because it's just
we don't want to be in the scrum.
That's not our space. The journalists, they go. We
don't want to be in their way. They're doing real work.
Exactly. And this was, I mean, it was
torturous.
We played just a few snippets of it, but it was 8 to 10 minutes of like, man, it is really sad in here, and he's the only one that is very sad.
Yeah.
But we have to work with that sadness. And I asked him a question about him scoring a goal and just trying to cheer him up, put a smile on his face a little bit, find some sort of silver lining.
Because I wanted to say to him like, "Hey, it wasn't your fault. When you when you was on the pitch, y'all were winning." But I knew I can't say that.
But that's a Cooligans joke we want to make. We just can't make it at that moment.
I gotta shoot him at the end. I couldn't say that out loud, especially with real journalists with all their phones out.
Right.
I can't say that.
So and the Leverkusen staff and everybody was just like, I mean, and we'll talk Eric Tanner, but it's a type of sadness and embarrassment that is. You feel because you thought you were gonna win. You were like, Bremen, they ain't got nothing for us.
What did they say? Like grasping defeat from the hands of victory. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. One of our 18 producers just collapsed. It's very warm in here.
But yeah, it was a wildly more somber than I think we're used to when it comes to this sport.
But it still stands out that he said, "Yeah, we were." What did the coach say? Somebody asked, and he said, "We were out there playing like boys, not men."
Exactly.
And although we've come to the end of the road.
All right.
It's a great joke for all my millennials.
Another player that we got to speak to, the first match we went to.
Before we bring this up, how did you think Malik Tillman played on a scale of 1 to 10? Came back from injury, only had 60 minutes.
I'm going to say like 7.5.
Yeah, that's the rate. And by the way, who I predict will be the starting 10 come World Cup. That's how good this guy is. The next player we saw, I would say, was a 9.0 in this game.
Yes, we the first match that we went to was in Hamburg. We got to see. It's not called the Hamburg Derby. It's called something else. Somebody told me the name in German. I'm not gonna remember it. But it's something related to the like city derby or something like that. But we got to see Hamburg play against FC Sao Paulo in the first time in the first division in roughly 14 years. And I mean, this was
the vibes were crazy.
What a introduction to our trip in Germany and in Bundesliga.
Everyone in the leading up to it was like, this is gonna be a tough one. They're very defensive. This is very tight. This was anything but
this
tight.
game was great, man. A lot of back and forth. We had
Sao Paulo looking like an extra year in the top flight did them good.
Yeah. They're playing at Hamburg, but and Sao Paulo is notoriously a championship team, and they haven't really stayed up in Bundesliga that long for super long stretches. Two Bundesliga, but I love the confidence that Sao Paulo played with. Yeah, man, especially in a hostile environment. When it comes to and we say this every time we come back from Germany. If you have an opportunity to go to a game, there's nothing really like it.
I know that not much is beckoning you to go to Germany. I'm aware of that. Americans, we get 2 weeks off, right? You're thinking Disney. You're thinking the beach. You're not thinking, the Rhine, area. I get it. But trust me, if you get a chance to go to a Bundesliga match, you have to go. If you think the Premier League has good atmosphere, get ready for a slap
Has
in the
anyone ever
face.
said that about a Premier League?
Oh my God, people at Anfield. You
That's
don't want
not
to be
what
there.
they really offer.
You don't want to be at Anfield when 6 guys are holding 2 fingers up. Bro, it's nothing compared to the tifos alone that we've seen.
It's Dortmund was
Was probably the greatest tifo I've ever seen live.
Yeah, same here. It was just unbelievable. And Hamburg, and it's one of those things where the home stand, the home supporters, and the away supporters have their own gigantic tifos.
Yeah,
which is just
who approves this?
The amount of effort. It's not even about approval. It's just like, bro, like, how do you find the time? If I had to build a tifo with the crew, I'm like,
buddy, work-life balance is so much better in Europe. That's what we're saying.
It's remarkable. But in this game,
Hamburg's tifo was really impressive. And that's about it.
Yeah,
they lost this.
Yeah,
match
they look like they're still settling into to the Bundesliga.
Although they did just get Fabio Vieira from Arsenal and Samuel Congo. So I mean, I believe they added a big striker. I can't remember who, but they added a big striker.
Boniface. What?
Did the Boniface deal go through?
I don't know, but was
Boniface
that
going to Bremen?
Bremen. Okay.
Dude, all my favorite players, I'm missing out. I don't know why. So show up a week earlier, but James Sands. This guy didn't make a mistake, bro.
Yes, sir. Right. He's still on loan from NYCFC.
Yeah.
But also played. He has a couple caps with the U.S. men's national team while Greg Berhalter was in charge.
Why isn't he one of these guys getting a chance?
And
he looked good.
This was fun, man, because obviously we're watching him and we're NYCFC fans. So seeing him,
he knows this too. We interviewed him when he was like 17, so he knows that we're jokesters.
Yeah.
But one of the things I said to him, I go, "Hey, man." I saw you pressing up as high as almost the striker points. You're really being trusted in different ways than you were in New York. And he looked at me like, you noticed that? he's like, I thought you were going to make a joke about the concessions.
Right. You got ball knowledge?
Damn.
No, but Sands is clearly an important piece to that team. Obviously defensively, but this is what we loved about him playing for New York City.
But he becomes the press trigger. I mean, he's super important.
He's up top, but it's a little risky as well because there is a little bit of space in the middle.
That's why I said they played bravely because he's really just clearing out a lot of space.
Yeah, he was fantastic, and every single aspect of the game. I mean, I've always said he's a great passer, and he's a great passer with both feet, and he makes brave passes. He wants line-breaking passes.
Yeah.
And
he wants to spring the attack.
Him doing that in Bundesliga is just so awesome to see.
There were multiple times where he attempted, and there were, again, early in the season, there was a couple of missed passes, not from him, just in general, but they were using his side to attack mostly, or he would switch diagonally. But his whole thing was like, I'm going to spring this winger out. I'm going to find a way to make the pass that gets him into space. And it was beautiful. It wasn't just hoofing it. He's not like a clearing, he's not just like a clearing merchant. He's actually out there trying to make those passes. And when he's getting possession, he's 1-2ing with the right midfielder. I was really impressed with not just remember, he goes out and gets injured, and then they say they want him back, and you think like, oh, they're going to soft step it, or maybe that injury is going to prevent him. Kind of like what happened to Jordan Morris, like it prevented him from going back. Not only did they want him, he is an essential part of their attack.
So it looks like, as far as like maybe buying the player, that San Paulo might consider that. It looks like he's an important part to the team. So, but we also got to interview him as well.
Yeah, which, by the way, the reason the lighting sucks is you're not supposed to film it, but that doesn't stop.
Well, they didn't tell us right there.
I mean, they
sort of told us after. But yeah, here's a couple quick clips of us talking to James Sands after the game. Any words back to?
Say something to the New York fans.
Yeah, man. A lot of people are happy.
Yeah.
We've been posting, and we were posting some pictures and everything. I sat in your locker.
Okay.
As well. I took the tour.
Yeah.
But everybody's been very complimentary. And so many NYCFC fans said to say hello. Any message?
Let's wrap it up.
That club will always be, in my heart. That's where I started. I have so many close friends that I still speak with every day.
That's awesome.
Keaton, Matt Freeze, I'm still talking to them all the time. So I watch as many of the games I can. The time difference is tough, but I still feel very involved with things. And, when I'm not playing, I'm a fan. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, of course.
That's one shirt?
Of
Is
course.
that possible?
Okay. Now, I know that ended abruptly, okay? I'm aware. But the magic of this is most people don't interview a player in the scrum like that.
Yeah.
And most of these journalists are asked not to exchange shirts with the player.
Or just really ask for photos.
Right.
Like, you're not really supposed to do that.
Not supposed to do that, right? But we saw how, I believe this is the end, right? Right? No, this one is. Here, we might have to edit this, but
Yeah.
I believe this is how it ended.
That's one shirt? Is that possible?
Okay. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, what happened, right? The video cuts out. And all I can tell you is this is by far the absolute most stinky thing I've ever been given in my life.
This is the sweatiest thing I've ever received in my life.
This is.
That is your audio. The reason I don't even know why it's that close to your face. The reason it's on a stick, right? We tried to do it so that it wouldn't do this. But
right.
But here's what you have to understand. And by the way, can you spin it so that you can see it's the James Sand shirt? I don't want to touch it. Don't let it touch our stuff, dude. Look, oh my God. Dude, we didn't wash this. Christian left it in a plastic bag.
Right.
And it was, why is it that close to your face? It was a solid, like, I was expecting you to hold it out.
I was trying, but I
like
can't
you're
see,
fishing.
You can't see it on screen.
This is ridiculous. Oh my God. This didn't work out the way I wanted. But here's the most important part of this, right? Is listen to Christian.
This is the sweatiest thing I've ever received in my life.
This is the sweatiest. This shirt weighs what? Half a pound?
Probably less than that, but yeah.
When we got it, it was, and I mean, like it was sitting in a pool of sweat. It weighed a solid 2.5 to 3 pounds.
Yeah, it was pretty heavy. I was, yeah.
Oh my God.
This isn't something we normally do. We don't really ask any players for match worn shirts.
I will never ask again. This is, I can't explain to you how bad this smells.
But shout out to James Sand. This is a really cool thing.
dude.
We're hanging this up in the studio.
Let's get James Sands an all body deodorant. I know, actually, it didn't smell when we first got it.
No.
It's because you didn't forget. You forgot to take it out of the bag.
I forgot to take it out of the bag. I mean, I did hang it up for in the hotel for a few hours, so it wasn't wet, but it did. The smell carried.
Oh, buddy. You know, I just want to shout out the people who wash the kits, man. The magic.
Imagine.
Actually, if I were a player, I'd just play in that kit. No defender's going to get near me.
I've heard that in general, that is an issue, that some players give off more of an order than others.
Who was it? Was it Mitrovic? There's a player who like purposely stunk.
Okay.
And it was like, no, I'm greasy. People can't hold on to me. Like didn't shower for like 2-3 days before a game.
Okay. I mean, this is, look, and so shout out to people that like collect match worn stuff. I'm
And
like,
you know, they say like, oh, I never washed it. Nah, man, wash it.
Nobody's going to be mad at
Dry
you.
clean that joint. That's what we're going to do to that. That's a prized possession of ours.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have a match worn James Sands. First of all, shouts to James Sands for handing us that. The look on his face was like, you really want it? I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
And
dude.
then I immediately regretted it. There was first of all, there's something about human sweat, right? That I don't realize it because a lot of times I don't hold something that's that sweaty.
Mhm.
It's there. A film stays on your hand. I had salt deposits on my hand. I could sell that.
You got to sanitize quickly.
Yeah, I could salt. I got look at sea salt, a salt bag.
But again, shout out to James Sand. Literally one of the coolest things. I was trying to let him know that we were going to be in Germany, but he didn't see any of the messages.
Yeah, we both DM'd him. He didn't respond.
He didn't respond. But the look on his face when he saw us was a really cool. It was just like seeing your big brothers. You know what I mean? He was really, really happy.
My uncles are here.
To see a familiar face out in Hamburg. So shout out to him. Shout out to Bundesliga for making that happen. That was a really, really dope experience.
And thank
for
you
all
to
of us.
Rylan James, who's helping us on the tour. He was he was the one holding the camera.
Exactly.
Ooh, he's never done that before. So thank you.
They did a great job.
And also, he didn't ask. I just said, "Hold this." It was like, okay.
We mentioned earlier we have to talk about Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag was sacked
Immediately after the match we went to.
Yeah. 2 days after we landed, so about 3 days after the match. And this was I think at the time, given that
It wasn't 2 days after we landed. It was like a day and a half after we went to the game.
We landed Monday.
We were still on the tour.
No, he didn't
Yes.
get. When did he get sacked? Andrew, if we can confirm. I'm almost sure we were like going on the train or
Maybe
something
that's
like that.
rumor started that he was going to get sacked.
I think there was a rumor. Monday. So
So
we
there you
were
go.
we
We
were
were
still there.
like,
We
yeah,
were
we're
on the
flying.
train probably. Okay. So So the game was Saturday, and obviously he sacked on Monday. He had just gotten hired a couple months ago.
6 months he spent at the club.
Yes. So he had his time in Manchester United. It ended how it ended. You would think Bundesliga would be not a step down, but a little less pressure than Manchester United, of course.
Right.
But he had big footsteps to follow in Xabi Alonso, and obviously the invincible season and all the success that Bayer Leverkusen has
I think
had.
we can all say we were surprised that this is who they went to after Xabi Alonso.
A little bit, but Erik ten Hag also was very highly touted before he got to Manchester United, and there was a lot of faith that it would go pretty well. He won a trophy. He won a trophy at Manchester United.
O.J. Simpson played well, in football, but I think things changed after his last stop.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, R.I.P. to the legend. we all know and love.
I'm just saying, changes.
But this is I mean, it was pretty genuinely shocking. We're still in Germany, and we're like, what the hell is going on? Given that it was such a short amount of time that he was at the club. Only after 2 matches, he lost his first Bundesliga match,
right?
And then drew his second. And the higher up said, "Hey, this is enough. We can't." And then, but then after that,
but the
details.
We didn't just interview Malik Tillman. The sporting director,
yes,
Simon Rolfes, I believe is his name, came in, and you could see he was unhappy with the way things were going, not necessarily just upset about the results.
I just took it as like, this is a German guy. He's being German.
Yeah. A German responded to me recently with a smiley face, and everyone else side messaged me like, "Hey, Germans don't do this."
This is a big deal.
Yeah. Wow, this guy likes you.
This might be third base, Alexis.
I know you're married, but are you married in Germany? Does it count there? But so just to give you an idea of like how people sort of react in Germany.
Yeah.
But there was something about it where I'm like, ooh, he ain't too happy.
I think after the Tillman interview, I was like, oh, this is just another unhappy person at Leverkusen.
But apparently he was ready to pull the guillotine out.
This is why it's interesting with Erik ten Hag getting fired. When Tillman told us he was basically saying like, coach was yelling at us. He had just gotten in that
he just got yelled at.
He just got yelled at.
You're at your friend's house and your parents yell at him.
So you're gonna be
it's that vibe.
So you're gonna be a little like sheepish, right?
Yeah.
And but I think Tillman saying that specifically, saying he told us that we played like boys and not men, is a very it's a scolding.
Well, the other journalists were like, "Whoa, you're not really supposed to do that."
Yeah, it was in a way
where like, I'm not familiar with the relationship between players and coaches in the way that someone who's in scrums a lot would.
Right.
For him to have said that apparently was like shocking.
Yeah, it was just a very specific detail that allowed us to almost like pick sides of like, do we feel bad for the players? Do we think that Erik ten Hag is taking it too far? I mean, I'm not saying that statement isn't necessarily a big deal.
No, but apparently it was like another exhibit
but
D.
It's a thing of like, to reveal it, now you're putting your coach in the firing line a little bit, because now you're publicly saying.
Yeah, but I also think it's like, this is more evidence of what people have already been saying about what's been going on. And
right.
if you're Simon or Simon Rolfes, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, if you're the sporting director of Leverkusen, you're probably thinking like, damn, and that, because what's been revealed since his sacking is, this is crazy. So this is from Bild, the newspaper. He said, this is Erik ten Hag. He did not get along with anyone at the club, not even his own staff that he brought to Germany himself.
Just that, your friends don't like you?
Damn. This is your clothes. What do you mean you don't like it?
You're paying them to like you, and they don't like you.
You gave them jobs, and they openly don't like you? That's crazy. He interfered with the planning and only proposed players. He interfered with the planning of, of transfers, and only proposed players from his own agency.
Ah, gross.
Yo, you know who you should hire? My cousin. Yo, the players did not understand why doing push-ups was just as important as ball work. You gotta be sexy out there, bro.
But also, this is a foot sport, not a hand sport. What are you doing?
I mean, you're out here for 10 of the 11. You're right.
Give me a coaching license.
Yeah. Everyone, we're doing pull-ups. Stop kicking that ball around. Enough with the baby stuff. How about this? The atmosphere within the club was extremely cold. That's German saying it's too cold. That's crazy.
The Dutch are too much for us, bro.
That's like Latino saying, hey, you're talking with your hands too much. It's become a problem. That's insane.
That is pretty crazy.
That's like an Argentinian saying, like, I think you're going to get gout. You're eating way too much beef.
Gotcha. Man, this is a for again to fire him after 2 matches and only being 6 months at the club.
I was gonna say a worse one. I can't say no.
Okay, well,
because I want you to know I don't mean your mom. Okay, this is the royal.
You know what? Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh, but come on.
Anyway,
hold on. There's more.
Oh, wow.
The players had no idea what they had to do during matches. I think we saw that. I think we saw that live and in person. The club wanted to sack him much earlier and believed they took too long. Yo, that's crazy.
Damn, dog. How about don't you figure this out in the interview process when you're hiring a coach? What is this?
The last thing I'm going to tell you is going to really piss you off. So before we get to that one, he is now considered the worst coach in club history.
Okay,
that's like from a quote.
Yeah, dude. that was Malik Tillman in the scrum, bro.
That's bad, bro. When the coach like, by the way, we never had a worse coach.
Wow.
We had coaches during the Nazi era. And this is the worst one we've ever had.
Right. Okay, so what's the last one?
The last thing is, do you know how much he gets paid after being sacked?
Oh, no, I don't.
Nearly $7 million.
Yikes. I mean,
for 6 months of work, bro.
Good deal.
Shouts to Eric Ten Hag, bro. Isn't he still getting paid from
sign
United?
that non-compete, bro.
Bruh, if I were you, I'd keep your mouth shut and collect them ends, bro.
So, I mean, it's the results. You would think after 2 matches, because Eric Ten Hag did put out a statement, and he basically said like, it wasn't enough time to figure out this team, and so
that's crazy.
But it has to.
He worked with Ajax, which is like young players.
But clearly, this is not about just the results. Something was clearly going on.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying. Yeah. It's about so much more stuff.
But if they wanted to sack him earlier, it wasn't after the first match. They wanted to sack him in preseason, they were like, hold on.
That's an embarrassing thing for the front office and sporting director and everybody to make that decision and be like, this is going to be our guy. I'm sure there are plenty of other candidates and then this is our guy. Somebody went up to bat for him, and they're like, bro, no, that's it.
Imagine,
2 games.
Imagine your lady wants to go away on vacation. You're like, hey, let's do a cruise. And she's like, I don't want to do a cruise. You're like, let's just do a cruise. I'm telling you, it's going to be great. And as soon as you get on it, and you're like, we got to get off this cruise. Imagine the embarrassment of being like, I was wrong.
Right.
You was right.
Yeah.
You got to, that's enough to get a sporting director fired.
At the very least, it's like they're moving on quickly. So they spotted the problem. So, they rip off the Band-Aid immediately. We'll see who steps in and we'll see how it goes. But I can only go up from here.
Hopefully. And hopefully for Malik Tillman's sake, the next person that comes in also has the same amount of trust in him. Because the worst case scenario is some players aren't starting. And if it's one of ours, that's really
He's going to put me in, coach. Look at my pecs. Damn. I've been doing all push-ups.
I just push up all day.
I forgot to take a
penalty. You hit the ball and then you slap it out of the way. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up with some...
Can I just give you one more thing real quick about Bundesliga? Look behind you. This scarf they gave us. Hey, if you don't know if you should support... Move your head a little bit because you can't see it on camera. If you don't know if you should support Bundesliga or not, remember, they freaks, bro. Look at this. You got a guy sniffing a foot on the scarf.
You can't see it.
You can't see it. Yeah, you can. Right. Hold on. There it is. All the way over there.
Yeah.
Look at that, bro. Hell yeah. That's officially from Bundesliga. So let's get a guy in there. Let's get Quentin Tarantino on the scarf.
Bundesliga, put in the foot in football.
Yeah. Look at that. I want to sniff your foos.
They're going to love that. So shout out to... All right, we'll be right back and we'll talk some transfers right after this.
Hey, welcome back to the Cooligans. Why don't we talk a little bit about some transfers?
Correct, because finally the saga of Alexander Isak is over. He is
And
a
it's
Liverpool player.
Just the way no one wanted it to end.
About 150 million, roughly. I mean, just so much. The back and forth of him, putting out the statement saying he was made promises, and that he would be sold. He wants to move.
In the end, he played it right. I mean, staying away from training and all those things seemed like this isn't going to work out the way you want, but.
Right.
In a game of chicken, he won.
They were making the example of Isak and Mark Gehi. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that Gehi did everything right. He was supposed to also go to Liverpool. He played the first 2 matches for Crystal Palace. He played in the Community Shield, did all the things, didn't sit out. And Crystal Palace said, apparently Oliver Glasner said, no, you have to stay because
I'll leave.
He
said, I'll leave if you get rid of him.
Which is so remarkable.
Which means next season he's available on a free.
So you would imagine
Real Madrid are sniffing around.
Really?
Yeah, so Liverpool might miss him to Real Madrid, which also kind of works for Marguehi's career because, when you go on a free, if you're a big deal, you could say, hey, it would have cost you $100 million to get me. Why don't you give me 50?
Okay. Yeah. So I mean the winter transfer windows, obviously there's another opportunity for him to go and for Crystal Palace to find a replacement. But because they couldn't find the replacement, they are but he was just like we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago. Remember Glasner went to say hello to him or high five him after a game, and he just kind of walked off. And now you got to go back to work and work for that man. So just not ideal. But Alexander Isak makes a whole big
He's
stink.
free.
He's free, and he's going to the club that he wanted to go to. So,
but what does this mean for Hugo Ekitike?
It is interesting. He's having a great start to the season, and off to the bench, bro. Be the Darwin Nunez.
You didn't need to spend all this money, Liverpool.
In hindsight, yeah, they were going after Isak, and they would have preferred to have him probably during preseason. And I would imagine that's what he would have hoped for. But I don't think people expected Ekitike to adjust this quickly. He's been fantastic. So I mean, I guess there'll be a bit of a battle there. But what a good problem to have for Arne Slot. Liverpool, people are saying the next 2-3 years are done. That Liverpool is probably going to be.
Yeah, you still got to put it together. Galacticos, how'd that go?
Sure. So, but no, it's Isak put out a he did the team interview thing Liverpool put out, and he seems serious. He seems dedicated. He's just like, I want to win everything. And he's sort of saying all the right things, and we know the type of player he is. But no, this is going to make Liverpool an incredibly a powerhouse, not only in domestically, but in Champions League as well.
Who wins the season with more goals, Isak or Gyökeres?
Isak.
I'll say Gyökeres. Let's put a bet on it.
Okay, let's put a bet on it.
Well,
all right, we got to sleep in James Sands' jersey.
Well, then who's going to pay for my divorce? By the way, I'll sleep in it in your bed.
Perfect. All right. Still do suffer. Anyway.
No, seriously, we have to come up with what the bet is. What the bet is.
Okay, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
I don't even fit. It would have to go around my thigh.
So the another thing with Liverpool related, Mohamed Salah, there was
somebody tweeted out a photo of Lucho Diaz and Darwin Nunez kind of grayed out. And then you've got Isak and who is it? Ekitike?
No, Verts.
And Verts. And they said, yo, the globe is real. Something like that, right?
Name a bigger upgrade.
That's exactly what it was.
In Premier League history. Something along those lines. It was like a fan account for Liverpool.
And Mohamed
Salah, he's on X, bro. He's on it. And
he got time to waste, dog.
And he said, can we
he quote tweeted it. Basically,
I don't have it in front of me.
Let's paraphrase it, but he said basically like, why don't we celebrate our new players without disrespecting PL champions?
Exactly.
And beautiful.
Yeah, bro. Making it known, like, yo, don't talk about my boys like that. We went to war together. All right. We won trophies. So but it's interesting because
Mohamed Salah, if you're that eloquent, you could have spoken about other situations earlier.
I mean, look, people are. It's a difficult situation for a lot of people.
I get
anyway.
it. But if you had this poetry, you know.
But it's funny because Verts is the one. I mean, and they spent a lot of money to get him, but he has not been that impactful.
I know because he's in my fantasy team. I'm well aware. I think it's difficult. This is, Atalanta under Gasperini. I know Gasperini's moved on, but Gasparini teams score a lot of goals, look really good, but those players don't always play the same when they leave that system.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that Xabi Alonso's the same way, right? The relationism that he plays is not exactly how Arne Slot plays. And you can't just, the biggest, and I'm a big statistics guy and sabermetrics or whatever, and analytics and XG. I love all that, but you can't just pick up a player and plop them in, and those stats follow.
Right.
It depends on how the team plays. It depends on who's responsible, who's passing him the ball, who's he passing it to. There's a lot that goes into it, and I think what you're seeing is Florian Wirtz in that, and that's why I don't think this team is just automatically going to win this season. Look, they beat Arsenal, absolutely, but can I just say Arsenal's missing their two best attacking players. They're at Anfield, and it took an absolute moment of brilliance to beat Arsenal.
That goal from Soboslai was, beautiful.
It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And by the way, they're already saying it's the new ball. It's the way the new ball moves. So you're going to be seeing a lot of these.
The little Jabalani.
Yeah, Jubilani, isn't it?
Jubilani? I don't know what it's called.
But basically the same thing. It's like too round. There's not enough friction on the ball with stitching and stuff and gaps. But anyway,
Arsenal fans finding any excuse.
It was raining. How dare it only rain for us? No, I think shouts to DT. But no, not that guy. Who's the other guy? The guy with the headphones. I keep forgetting his name.
Yeah, DT's the bad one.
Yeah, the bad one. We don't not shouts to that guy. In fact, we'll cut that from the episode if you don't mind, Andrew. But here's my whole point is they didn't play well in that game. Liverpool just found a way to win. And look, sometimes in a championship season, you need to find a way to win ugly.
Yeah.
But Arsenal were taking it to them without really being that effective in front of goal. It took a moment of brilliance to beat them. I don't think Arne Slot's going to have as an easy time. These are his players. These are his decisions coming in. They spend a lot of big money. You need to win Champions League in order to make all of this seem correct. I think he's going to be competing for the league, and they may very well win, but I think he'll be competing. I don't think it's going to be a runaway like it was last season, and I don't think they're going to get that far in Champions League either.
All right. I mean, I'm sure you are hoping for that exact thing.
No, I mean, it doesn't bother me unless it's Arsenal that's winning.
I think with these, I think they're going to dominate, and yeah, I do think it's going to be another big points gap because they just. I'm assuming with the signings that they with including Alexander Isak, they're only going to be better than they currently are. So I'm a little even as an Everton fan, it's hard to say, but I think they are going to be pretty dominant for a little while. All right, well we'll talk more about it later. The last one, Nico Jackson had some drama as well because he was basically flew to Germany for a medical to go sign with Bayern Munich.
Psych.
Liam Delap gets injured, and then
they're like, hey,
Chelsea's like, hey, hold on. They literally said to come back to London. He kind of defied. I don't know if he defied. He stayed anyway.
Munich.
He stayed
and
in Munich.
Was like, nah, man, I don't want to go back.
So
it's like Goodfellas when they go to the guy's house and like, you got to go back.
Oh yeah.
That's what Chelsea was like. I know you, but they know
so. Immediately, I saw a lot of Chelsea fans being excited because, I think Chelsea fans are split on Nico Jackson. They're just, he gets results, but I think after watching him, we saw him at Club World Cup, and we saw the moment where he didn't cross the ball to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer was furious.
He's a little boneheaded sometimes.
Yeah. He just doesn't always make the right decision, but he gets goals, and he's fairly. He should be a little bit more consistent than he is, but the numbers kind of don't lie. He is, I think, a net positive to Chelsea. So it's an interesting move for him as well because he's going to be playing behind Harry Kane. He's not going to be starting games. This is going to be he'll play in Champions League. He'll play in
teams
cup
offer you
competitions
opportunities to win.
Yeah,
trophies.
I mean it'll be a good substitute, but he's a substitute. Otherwise, as opposed to sort of fighting for that, or what I believe he had the starting spot in Chelsea, but then the inclusion of João Pedro.
But he did go back though, no?
No, he did not. No,
complete the move.
They completed the move.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he ended up staying in Germany.
We have breaking news.
Oh,
Tottenham has announced the departure of executive chairman Daniel Levy.
Whoa! Hold on.
Oh my God.
This is wild. I thought the move to he wanted to get rid of Big Ange.
Wow. Thomas Frank gets his boss fired.
Levy they couldn't split him and this club.
Damn.
He also made them so much money. Wow.
How long has he been at this club?
Nearly 25 years.
25
He
years.
joined in 1998? No, 2000.
Damn, we weren't even born.
Good God.
Unreal. Man.
25 years. Tottenham Hotspur has transformed over the last quarter of a century. It has played in European competitions in the last 18 of 20 seasons, becomes one of the world's most recognized football clubs, consistently investing in academy players and facilities. Remember, the beer goes from the bottom, including a new world-class stadium with state-of-the-art training center and beer delivery system. I made that part up. The club has also competed regularly at the highest levels, enjoying a number of fantastic on-field successes, including the recent Europa League win. Wow. Daniel Levy said, I am incredibly proud of the work I have done together with the executive team and all of our employees. We have built this club into a global heavyweight, competing at the highest level. More than that, we have built a community. I was lucky enough to work with some of the greatest people in this sport, from the team at Lily White House and Hotspur Way, all the way to all the players and managers over the years. I wish to thank all the fans that have supported me over the years. There's not that many.
Who hasn't, please?
Yeah.
Point out somebody.
All
who has
three of them. Are they in the room with us? It hasn't always been an easy journey, but significant progress has been made. I will continue to support this club passionately.
All right.
Wow.
This feels this feels like an honorable discharge, right? It feels like they are, kind
of like what they did with Wenger, which is like,
you can't, 25 years, you can't just chuck them out to the side of the road. You know what I mean?
On Friday, I'm going to let you say whatever you need to say, but on Monday, you're getting sacked. So say what you got to say on Friday.
Pretty shocking. So he stepped down. This is not a firing. This is him being like, all right, I'm tired of arguing with people. I'm tired of people yelling at me. So
the big question is does this sort of open up the purse strings for Tottenham? Tottenham is one of the most profitable clubs in world football. They have a massive stadium that now brings them a ton of additional revenue. Their books are pretty solid. You know what I mean? They don't way overspend. Some people, to the chagrin of a lot of the fans, but it's always about smart business versus go all out to win, like we've seen Liverpool do. Does this change now for Tottenham? Does Tottenham bring in somebody? Who was it? Peter Charrington, I believe, is the new person in charge. But does Peter Charrington now take that and say, "Hey, let's go play with the big boys for real"?
We shall see. I mean, I guess the question is, because I constantly see Levy out. Was he genuinely holding Spurs back? Was Levy the problem?
The fish things from the head, bro.
A lot of people would make that claim. So, I mean, maybe this is a new era. I mean, 25 years. I mean, there's a generation of Tottenham supporters that grew up either, being frustrated with the mediocrity, being frustrated with him, with Levy directly. So I could see maybe this. It could also bite you in the end, because sometimes the same thing kind of with Arsenal, like the having that stability and that consistency over years, and then as soon as you take that away, then it introduces a level of chaos.
Don't say Arsenal, say Manchester United, because Arsenal have won trophies since.
Yeah.
Manchester United have been on the struggle bus.
But for a couple of years,
and I know they've won trophies.
But for a couple of years, that was the concern after Wenger. It was just like with what am I forgetting his name? Aston Villa head coach. Emery, and like. Yeah. Switching coaches and people not being happy. There's a stability that people appreciate, and they take it for granted. I mean, you can be mad at Tottenham and all this other stuff, but
we just got a text from Carter Singh, who is again on vacation on his honeymoon. It is the meme of Michael Jordan holding the trophy, saying, "I used to pray for times like this."
Shout out to Carter. Hilarious. Incredible. All right.
So I think the fans have spoken.
Yeah.
You're also Tottenham. We're surrounded by Spurs here.
It's a very good day. Crack a beer, pour a glass of Buchanan's, and
have a bucanita for me and my homies,
and have a nice
happy
Thursday.
Do you want Tottenham to continue down this pragmatic approach in the market?
No.
You
Go
want
all in.
Open Hell's Gate. It ain't my money.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not. We are now in.
I will say this can prove to make Tottenham a fairly dangerous foe for a lot of big clubs. They've got the stadium, which again, and I know in American sports it's not as essential, right? Because you have the TV revenue.
Yeah.
But gate is super important, and being able to use your stadium for more. They use it for concerts. They use it for NFL. They use it for they are creating an crazy amount of revenue, which opens the door for them to spend more in PSR and spend more with the FFA or FFP. It really opens the door for Tottenham to, if they're brave enough in the market, or if they can, maybe take a couple shots of Buchanan's before the market opens and be a little wilder, they can make them a formidable player in the market.
Sure. Well, we shall see. I mean, the next couple of days are going to be very interesting to see what the direction of the club kind of looks like and see how fans react to it.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
Do you want them
shout out to Andrew. Thank you for letting us know before we wrap up the show. All right. Let's wrap up
Who
the
next?
Who do you want gone?
Who do you want said? Put it in the comments.
All right. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. As always, make sure you follow us everywhere you can on all socials. Follow us on Blue Sky, soccercooligans.com on Blue Sky. And you can also, if you haven't already, you can tune into Yahoo Sports. There is a new fast channel that is available on a bunch of TVs. You can see the Yahoo Sports app. You can watch all the shows on the Yahoo Sports Network, the Cooligans.
My mother got a Roku.
Included.
She watches it. Yeah.
Roku. There's a bunch of different platforms that you can watch it on. But if you, it's streaming live 24/7 on yahoosports.tv if you want to catch us there from time to time and catch some of the other shows. So, all right, everybody, we will see you next week on Tuesday. Remember, we will not be releasing an episode on Monday. We're going to be live on Tuesday right after the U.S.-Japan match, after the final whistle. So join us on YouTube, youtube.com/soccercooligans. We will be right here, and join us in the comments. All right. Y'all are the absolute best. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Guten Tag. I learned a couple things out there. We'll see you. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Love you guys. Coogan. Yeah. Okay. Daniel Levy's leaving. 25 years is a long time. I wish I knew exactly what was happening in those closed doors. Hey, if you want to watch and find out what was happening in closed doors when Andrea Pirlo was playing for New York City FC, click over his face and watch our interview with Chris Wingert, a defender on that team.
And if you want to subscribe to our channel, click on Alexis's face right now.